Hi guys, today we're diving into one of the most exciting performance features in iRacing's VR toolkit, Dynamic Foveated Rendering, or DFR for short. If you've ever wished your sim rig could squeeze just a little bit more performance without sacrificing visual fidelity, this one is for you. Let's start with the basics. Foveated rendering is a clever technique that mimics how your eyes work. You see sharp detail in the center of your vision, your fovea, and everything in your periphery is a bit blurrier. DFR takes advantage of that by rendering the center of your view in high resolution whilst dialing down the detail around the edges. Less GPU load, same immersive experience. iRacing's implementation allows for DFR, the D standing for dynamic, meaning it adjusts in real time based on where you're looking. This is made possible through eye tracking hardware, like what you find in headsets like the original Pimax Crystal or the Pimax Crystal Super. As your eyes move, the rendering sweet spot moves with you, keeping the detail where it matters most. And here's the kicker. It's not just a static performance boost. Because it's dynamic, it adapts to your driving, your head movement, and your gaze. That means smoother visuals, better frame pacing, and more headroom for other system settings like shadows, reflections, or even higher refresh rates. iRacing allows us to enable showing eye tracking with a clever little feature in the settings which draws a box around where you are looking. This really highlights where you are looking in-game, allows you to see that the feature is working, and of course, in the case of this video, shows where the game is rendering the best quality in the scene. In practice, DFR can be a game changer, especially in GPU limited scenarios. You might not see a massive jump in raw frame rate, but what you will notice is fluidity. Fewer dropped frames, more consistent frame delivery, and a noticeable reduction in motion artifacts. It's the kind of upgrade that makes VR feel less like a compromise and more like a cockpit, especially as we get towards the super high resolutions that we face with the Pimax Crystal Super. Running DFR allows you to shift the workload from the GPU to the important parts of your screen, freeing up the rest of your system and reducing unnecessary bottlenecks as we try to brute force massive displays of wasted polygons. What does this mean for iRacing? Well, as it uses quad views and has a very good foveated rendering feature, we gain a big performance jump, from an unplayable stutterfest to a solid 90 frames a second, with the astonishingly clear Crystal Super, using the same visual settings we had for the Crystal Light. To use DFR in iRacing, you'll need a compatible VR headset with eye tracking, OpenXR runtime, recommended for best performance, iRacing's DFR support enabled in your settings. It's not plug and play for everyone, but if your gear supports it, the payoff is real. Now, how you enable eye tracking will be dependent on your headset of choice. I'm using the Pimax Crystal Super here, so we'll show you where you can find the settings in Pimax Play. Open up Pimax Play, go to device on the left-hand nav, scroll down the settings and enable eye tracking. You can also enable auto IPD from here. It's worth calibrating the feature whilst here to make sure your eyes are tracked correctly. To enable eye tracking in-game, load iRacing choosing the OpenXR option and then click Settings. Once it is loaded, go to Display and scroll down to the VR section. Select Foveated in VR mode and allow eye tracking. I'd also temporarily enable Show Eye Tracking to show it is working. Now, iRacing doesn't tell you this, but you have to restart in order to enable this mode. So restart iRacing and you should now see little boxes in your vision when in the car. You can now go back into Settings, Display and disable Show Eye Tracking if all was working fine. Dynamic Foveated Rendering is one of those features that quietly transforms your experience. It doesn't scream upgrade like a new GPU or CPU might, but it delivers where it counts, making VR smoother, more immersive, and more efficient, edging us closer to being able to race without compromising so much on the visual treat. If you're serious about sim racing in VR, DFR is absolutely worth exploring, and if you're already using it, let me know how it's working for you. I'd love to hear about your setup and results. Sadly, iRacing is the only sim racing title I know of with a DFR implementation. You can kind of fudge things with OpenXR Toolkit, but that third-party tool was never designed to be a permanent solution and has been out of support for a long while. It also won't give you the kind of boost we see from a grounds-up implementation like in iRacing. It might give you some extra frames though, so maybe worth a look if you are racing LMU or one of the many other sims in our lives. If you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into VR, sim racing and tech. Until next time, keep your eyes on the apex and may your frames be buttersmooth. Goodbye guys.